I am Max from Cavern Deep. Recently we have gotten a bit of questions about our mixes. Yeah, and we mix ourselves, the songs ourselves. So I am today going to show you how I thought when I mixed our song Fungal Realm, or Fnurgle Durellum, as it also can be called. But then you say, okay, Max, why are you having headphones? You don't mix with headphones. And why aren't you in your beautiful studio? Well, I am lazy and I want to be in my home. So we are in my home now, and I'm not gonna mix. I'm just gonna show you. And also, I'm technically sneaky because these are called lurar in Sweden, and that's also when you're fooling someone, being sneaky. So I'm technically sneaky, which is cool. This video was brought to you by Fnorg VPN. Fnorg, the florpiest of the florps. Okay, so first of all, here we have it. This is a program which is called Cubase. I like it very much, even though some people hate it. So yeah, as you can see, we have a lot of tracks. This is recorded live from the beginning, so you have all the drums. Maybe it's easier to, you have all the drums and the guitars, which is recorded live, and then we layered vocals and leads on top of that. So we can actually start with something that I usually do pretty often, and that's that I try to mix with the master on sometimes. And as you can see, I have quite the big master here. And you know, the most important thing with a good master is the balance. So we have my own plugin, which I made actually, which is called the Super Scale Processor, which you can open here. And as you can see, it's made by Malmer Productions. That's my company, and it's a scale, so it balances the mix. So the mix goes here, boink, and out, and it sounds really good. It's pretty cool. No, but I kid. Actually, balanced mixes is like the biggest myth of all. Like, seriously, of course, like the bass drum and everything shouldn't be, you know, oppressive, like it takes over the whole mix. But a completely balanced mix, that's boring. You don't want a balanced mix. You want, maybe in some songs you want roaring guitars, or you want it to be oppressive, you know. So that's just bullshit. So I have a lot of things here on the mastering bus. So some of it is just like these things, which check the you can check the lufs, which is like the overall loudness of the track. It's very handy. This is not the actual mastering that's done. This is just something for testing and for mixing that I have. But I use, you know, some equalizing. I will use this is actually cool. This is something I learned from Stu Mackenzie in King Gizzard. So this is, as you can see, a real tape machine. You can actually, if you look really close like this, it actually feels like you're in a real studio with a real tape machine, which is really cool. So this is just like a tape saturator. It makes like it's not like a real recording through a real tape machine, but it gives you, if you want to master like that later, it gives you a hum on where to go with this. So what I do is that I boost some of the high end, and I cut some of the low end, and I punch it into this pretty hard, and then I boost the low end and cut off some of the high end after it. So this is before, and this is after it. So yeah, makes a really warm and nice sounding master. I also use this. As you can see, I use a lot of the built-in Cubase plugins. This is the Fuzz. So here we can choose which frequencies we want to saturate. So, and we can have some tape saturation, and I just have a little bit. So this is quite similar to the real cool temp machine, but yeah. So I use a little bit more of that, and then I have some just really discrete compression. I have some multiband compression, which I guess I can. Yeah, so it's not working that much. Then I have some more equalizing. This is a really cool thing, which it kind of sounds like a real mastering amplifier. No, it doesn't, but it gives you a idea of how it's going to sound with a real mastering amplifier later. And this is a banana limiter, which limits your bananas so you don't eat too much. And yeah, this is just to check the phase. And here, so yeah, mix sometimes with the master to check how it sounds, but in general, don't mix with the master on all the time. That's a very big mistake usually, because then your mix won't make any sense when you send it to the mastering studio later. And this is so this thing right here, it increases the frequency of how many times the choir 2 here appears in the mix. So you can see it appears 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah, about 8 times, which is really cool. So you do that with an equalizer. It works really well. So something that people sometimes ask me is we have this really cool camel-esque kind of guitar sound. And that's a bit psychedelic, you know. So people ask me, "Oh, Max, how do you do that?" It's actually really simple. You take an instrument track like this, and then you send it to the guitar track, but you don't send just anything. You have to send an actual camel. See, it's really pretty. So you send this to the guitar. I bet like Michael Åkerfeldt can attest to this, that this is how you get a really cool camel-like sounding guitar sound. If you are in the watching this, Michael, you can affirm in the comments below that that's how you get that cool camel-esque kind of guitar sound. Yeah. So something that I do not like is that people like to mix drums and like snare and kick and such very flat in metal. I don't know if they like it or if they just do it because they don't know how to use compressors. But you should learn how to use compressors properly. There's a billion good videos about this, so I will link one in the description. But in general, what you want to do is have a compressor that makes the attack more prevalent on the instrument. So otherwise, like the drums will just sound like flat, like a table. And if you do that for long enough, you will, like James Hetfield, become the table, and it's not good, man. You don't want to. So what I've done here is that I've actually just taken this, which this is not usually what I used on this track, but I made it to sound about the same as the attack compressor that I put on there before. This is a really good plugin. It's from Waves, I think. I'll post a link to it in the description. So if you don't know how to use a compressor very good, but still want to attack in your mix, I would suggest using this. It's actually not bad. Something I do a lot is that I have a lot of delay on everything, and I might have like some delay in the left ear just on some mono instrument, and then I will have some other mono instrument who has only the left delay in the right ear. So what I have here is that I have a lot of different things that are sending to these kinds of delays. So here you have a mono delay, you have a delay that's just in the left ear, and then I have like delays like this, which are completely panned. And if you look at this, these delays, they are not the same. So this becomes kind of a, it's almost like a reverb effect. I can show you on some. I will actually show you on the lead guitar. Here we can. It sounds pretty cool, psychedelic, and yeah, I like it overall. I would highly recommend it. It's a good trick, which I learned from watching Devin Townsend. He used it like a lot, I think, much more than I, to get those like very big vocals and things. But I use it a little bit, yeah. So one thing also that I did in this song is that we have to fill out this this verse some, because if you would have only bass, guitars, and no effects on everything, it would sound not very good. So firstly we have this. So this is a stereo recorded like bubble guitar. It's actually a pedal called the Bubbletron. Yeah, sounds really good in the full mix. If you see the peak here, it's from when I clapped for the intro. And another thing that we did to fill out is that we have this discrete synth. And this is something you can have on like just a loop pedal when you do it live. A synth like this that starts on the verses. Highly recommend it to like fill out a bit. One thing that I also did is that I have this room mic. And it actually has a like phaser on it. It doesn't do much in the whole mix. But it psychs up the drums a bit. I think it's really cool. Of course, you can't do that live. It would be ridiculous. But it does sound cool to like fill out the verse a bit. One thing we did on the outro part here is that we... here we want to have some kind of really psychedelic breakdown. So we actually recorded some choirs, just some low choirs that's in the background. Which just by itself sounds really bad. But in the whole... yeah, sounds really cool. So, one last thing I wanted to say about the mix is that I'll use a lot of saturation. A lot of that quarter fuzz. Sounds really good in a digital mix. So if you go out after this and you put a lot of this tape saturation on your mixes, it's at least in digital, it's gonna sound great. Be careful with it. So yeah, but I highly recommend just put some saturation on there. And if you don't have Cubase, if you have an old Cubase for some illegal reason, this is a really cool thing. It's called the Tube. And you might think this is silly, but this is actually a really good saturation plugin. So I highly recommend it. Yeah.